You have now cast on your appropriate number of stitches according to my errata sheet. You have knit your first 2 rows, knit and knit, which means you actually did a garter stitch. And on the drops pattern, it now tells you to knit next row as follows from right side: 4 front edge stitches in seed stitch, purl 1, etc., etc., etc. I feel that that's a little off. And so from this point right now, turn to your errata sheet and look at step 3, which says right side RS, you're going to do row 1 of the lace chart. That's where you're at, is row 1 of the lace chart. If you have not practiced my video on how to do the lace chart, which looks like this, do it. Do it now, or you're going to get confused. Practice with a separate needle and yarn, and make sure you understand how to read the lace chart. I lay it out quite clearly there. All right, so let's follow my step 3 again. It says that, which is going to be row 1 of the lace chart. So do seed stitch for 5 stitches. Repeat M1 until there's 5 stitches left, and end with 5 stitches of seed stitch. What does that mean? Easy. Again, sorry for the thumb. So ugly. It takes so long to grow out. All right, seed stitch. If you don't know what the seed stitch is, on the Garn Studio pattern, it tells you. If you look at the beginning, there's some instructions, and it tells you seed stitches: knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl on row 1. Row 2 is your purl and your knits, and you knit and your purls. But I'll take you through it. So I say in my step 3, do seed stitch for 5 stitches. So that's knit, purl, knit, purl, that's 4, and knit, that's 5. Perfect. Now you do M1. All right, because now you're starting a repeated or a chart that repeats over and over. This is where, for your sanity, I suggest you use your stitch marker, as I explained in my previous video. So there's the beginning of where our pattern goes, where our lace chart goes. And if you look at the instructions, the first step says to, I will bring this into the picture here just to show you, but I'm not going to keep it here for long. So the first one says yarn over. Remember, row 1s go this way, row 2s you read left to right, row 1 you read right to left, or sorry, left to right to left, and then 2 is left to right. Okay, so the first one is a yarn over. We do a yarn over, then knit, knit. So we're going to knit and knit, and then it's doing the 3 to 1. I show you quite clearly on my video how to do that. What does that mean? It means you're going to slip 1 as if to knit. You're going to knit 2 together. Oops, this is tiny yarn. Okay, and perfect, and knit 2 together, and then you slip the 1 over the 2 that were knit together, and that is a decrease of 3 to 1. Then you're going to knit, 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 then you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to do purl on the right side, and we're on the right side of the garment, so we're going to purl, and then we're going to put in a stitch marker because we're at the end of that chart that repeats. Doesn't matter what color, I'm just having fun. And that means then you start it over again, right? Yarn over, knit, 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 do that 3 to 1 decrease, which is slip 1 as if to knit, knit 2 together, and then pass PSSO, pass that slip stitch over. Brilliant. Then you're going to knit, 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 then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to purl 1, and then you are at the end of your pattern again. You're going to need about 20 of these. You put that on and start over. All right, I would like you to continue until, as my step 3 of my errata sheet says, repeat M1 until there are 5 stitches left. I've knit a little further along, and I want to show you why I do this. It helps you keep track of where you are. In case you make a mistake, you know where you need to rip back from. And one of the things I do is, I know in this particular chart there's 8 stitches between the markers, and so when I finish doing a little section, I count to make sure that there's 8 stitches, and if there isn't, it means I've made a mistake, and I've purposely done a mistake here. So I've gone, okay, here's the stitch marker to the new one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. And there should be 8, which means I've made a mistake in here. And now I know I need to rip just back to this stitch marker. And I do count. I'm very crazy about it, but it saves you a lot of ripping later. And I check these every time I put a stitch marker on. I pause to count to make sure there's how many that should be in between. So there's an error made. I don't know where the error is. So that means it's time to tink. Oh, the joy of tinking. Take that off. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm just going to go right back. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is that one where you, okay, there's 2 together there. I don't know what I did there. And what is that? Oh, I don't know. Okay, there we go. Back to that stitch marker, and now I do it again. Yarn over, knit, knit, 3 to 1, which is slip, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over. And we make mistakes all the time. Knit, knit, yarn over, purl, put my stitch marker on, and before I go and repeat it, I really do this. I make sure there's 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Good, so I know I can continue. Okay, I'm getting to the end of row 1 of the lace chart. And I am just going to, I've got a few left here, so I'll keep going. Yarn over, knit, knit, 3 to 1, which is slip, slip 2 together, or sorry, knit 2 together, PSS, oh, pass the slip stitch over, knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over and purl. It's the end. Then I check to make sure I have 8 because I'm crazy. 2, 4, 6, 8. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble by doing that tip. And then when I have 5 stitches left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I do seed stitch. What is seed stitch? Knit, purl, knit, oops, purl, and knit. There you have it. You have finished row 1 of your lace chart. So I can't find my row counter right at the minute, but just turn to indicate that you have finished row 1 of the lace chart.